See, there's so many questions on this topic that I want to ask you about, but specifically about the book before I move on, because I want to talk about the books. I want to talk about all of your books. You've written just about so many different topics. You must have just endless fascinations for different
I
things.
do. I do.
But I did want to ask quickly about Floyd Cooper, who illustrated the book. How does it come to pass that his grandfather was actually there at the Tulsa Race Massacre, and he happens to be the person that illustrates your book? That seems like an incredible coincidence.
I know, Kismet, huh? Well, actually, when I was drafting the manuscript, I contacted Floyd, and I knew he was a Tulsa native, and I asked him if he was interested in illustrating the project. We had worked together before on Becoming Billie Holiday, so I knew. I was very familiar with his style, and when my kids were young, I used to buy his books for them. So, I'm an admirer of his work, but just because of his Tulsa connection, I wanted to work with him on the project. And so when I submitted the manuscript, I mentioned that, it would be a package, and that's the way that it came together. And I did not know at that time that Floyd's grandfather had survived the massacre. Um, and I never even thought to ask a question. Did you have any relatives, that survived the massacre? Because you really don't, you don't really work with the illustrator, the one-on-one, the editor and the art director. They're the go-betweens. Even when I work with my son, it's even though I can certainly talk to him and get some information out of him and call him about it if I want to, but generally that's not protocol. So Floyd and I did pitch this as a package, and Lerner brought us on as a package, and I found out when I read Floyd's illustrator's note that his grandfather had survived the massacre. But I just knew that I knew that he was going to bring passion to the project because, and that he was going to have affinity for the project because he had come from Tulsa, and I just that was really why I enlisted him. But yeah, I just thought his illustrations are so powerful, and certainly his illustrations have given his grandfather voice that he certainly would not have had back in 1921. He did tell Floyd. Share with Floyd his recollections of the race massacre when Floyd was growing up, and Floyd is so fortunate that his grandfather shared that with him.
And you didn't find out till it was in the note, and the illustrations at that point are done, right?
Exactly.
I assume maybe there would have been just a little bit of wiggle room if you'd known before to maybe go back and add a small piece of that story, or might have changed things a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah. And who knows, his father, he may have drawn his grandfather painted his grandfather into the story in some way. There may be, a specific, who knows?